Yes, sorry, a couple of minutes late. Facebook has now gone onto this new system, which has been warning me about. And today, somehow, it just worked out. So I'm really pleased. It forced me to have to pay attention to something that I probably wouldn't have, I kind of would have avoided. Not being the most techie of people. Anyway, I am so glad I came on, put it on, and thought, well, I'm just going to do it today. I'm just going to have to make a decision. I did it. So there we are. How are you all doing? How was your day yesterday? What did you do? Put yourself in the chat there. Let us know, what did you do yesterday that was maybe exciting or something that supported you particularly on your journey in your well-being, whether that be your physical well-being, your mental well-being, your financial well-being, or into your spiritual well-being, whatever it is that seems to be showing up for you. That might be something that you might want to pay attention to. All right, so yeah, just to acknowledge all those that we know that may not be well, and so that we can spend a little bit of time sending special love and attention to them. And for those that we don't know, that we can still feel that empathy and compassion, because we know that fundamentally, right at the very heart, we are all connected. We are all connected. Excuse me, I've just had some tea. We're all connected deep inside. And when we close our eyes, the separation, that's the crazy part. When our eyes are shut, we don't see separation. But when we have our eyes open, we have this illusion of separation. So that's an interesting thought. And maybe it is about recognizing that often what we see, we may not always be true. All right? Certainly in the context at which we're looking at it. So that's something that might be useful. I wrote a book in 2016 called The Aha Moment, and one of the things is there are 3 beliefs that we run, and one is that when we have a problem with a changing of behavior, there's always going to be this fight between our head and our heart. So the parts of our brain that run what we call our body somatic area, that's really kind of more our right side generally, although it doesn't do that totally. Something gets processed in the left, but on the left side is more our sequential thinking kind of aspect of our brain. All of us have this, right? All of us have this feminine gestalty, when I say gestalty, wholeness kind of way of being. And all of us have the ability to also be in that sequence structural kind of way of being. The interesting thing is, depending on which one we're in, predominantly can mean that we will look at the world in a way that may or may not be helpful. So it's really about how do we bring and utilize both sides of our brain so that we can get into balance. We can see there's a polarity on either side. And I was just reading some stuff in this everyday holiness, and it was really talking about serenity and being able to be okay with everything that comes up. Hi, Carla. Lovely to see you. I just realized you came on, and it's on the left side, not on my right side, because Facebook has done something new. So I'm going to have to get used to looking this way. Interesting. Okay, so let's just get to it then. If there's anything that came up yesterday, we talked about the ultimate physical atom, and I showed a picture within the chat, not in this chat, but I commented, or not commented, sorry, I posted. I posted a little bit about the ultimate physical atom. And remember, the ultimate physical atom shapes like a heart, all right? And you have something that's rotating around itself in an orbit. You have something that's rotating internally, so vibrating back and forward, and you have a sort of a revolution. All right, so there's 3 strands that are thicker within this shape, and each of them have spirals, tiny, tiny little wormholes or black holes. So it's just really to recognize that every experience that we have, whether it comes on any of the levels, will come into this. They have to come in and they have to come out. So part of the ultimate physical atom is the connections that bring everything together so that it can form a new idea, a new concept, a new something. Good morning, Marcel. So nice to have you. So let's just get into this now. So if you've got a feeling, if you want to change something, if you want to just do the meditation and just kind of go and follow me, that's fine. We've got a happiness scale. All right, so where are you on the happiness scale, which is between 0, not being, well, being pretty neutral, just neutral, and where are you on, and 10 would be the happiest you can be. And happiness is not about being euphoric, okay? Happiness is about being content, serene, and calm, and joyous, yeah? So where are you on that scale? And we have another scale which is called the anxiety scale. So where are you on the distress part of the scale? So there's 0 is neutral and 10 is quite distressed. Now, all emotions, all feelings, every experience we have often has many feelings in them. All right. So I always tell people that there are at least 4 in there. Any kind of experience where you experience something that isn't great, you'll probably experience anger or frustration. You'll feel scared, feel sad. And ultimately, when we reflect, we come back and we see and we become glad. That's the resolution point. So we will always have something in this sequence. So it's useful. It's useful. So you may be feeling an 8 on happiness, but maybe there's a bit somewhere that's about sadness too. So pay attention. If you're not a 10, if you're not completely, there's nobody in this world that would be that. We'd probably have checked out by then if that were the case, because we wouldn't have anything to learn. So what is it that where you are, and how can you create the balance? So what's missing? What's the bit that's missing for you, if that's the case on the happiness scale? If it's the distress scale, there may be part of gladness that you're not seeing. All right, so there may be things within that in itself that needs to come in to create a balance between the two. All right, okay, so right now get yourself a rating. So Carla, Marcel, what is your rating right now? What is it that you are on either the happiness scale, or are you measuring yourself on the distressed scale? Go inside, take a moment to put your hand on the feeling if you can, and just kind of locate where that feeling is for you. If you're saying I'm generally happy, just kind of go into your body, do a body check, and just kind of notice, where are you? Where is that feeling that's the most happy, or the feeling that's not so that's distressed? All right, where is it? And just kind of get a sense of its shape and its border. So I want to have a sense of border. And I was focusing this morning, I was thinking about borders again, because most of people know that I do work on sovereignty, and sovereignty is about managing our borders. And interestingly, sometimes when you look at what happens in society, when we're incredibly happy, what we do often is we reduce the effect of a border. And so therefore, when times of struggle happens, we don't have an army. So when we are living our life in abundance, in excess, and often abundance makes excess happen. So often we're eating too much, drinking too much, doing all sorts of things that are too much, working too much. A lot of that's been seen. But the abundance of that is being overutilized sometimes when we are in a place where we don't feel a threat, and we can go overboard. And that means that when something like a virus comes in, the internal environment, that's us, is going to struggle because it's kind of got a bit lazy. Yeah. So that's an interesting aspect. But we also can't have a border that's too rigid, too strong, because that means we often end up in a place where we don't have free flow. So it's about a balance, isn't it? It's about a balance of knowing how to keep the internal environment in a good place, and how also to have the flow, communication between an external and an internal environment. So this is where it's really important. Okay, so good. So you've got an idea of the feeling, you've got an idea of the rating. You've given it a rating out of 10 on either on the happiness. So if you can, in the chat, put something down, that'd be good, so that we can have a sense of where you are. And then, okay, let's just do the tapping. All right. So remember, the tapping is, we're going to go on the eyes, top of the eyes, side of the eyes, under the nose, under the mouth. Oh, I crossed over there. Doesn't matter. You can cross over. If you like that, cross over. I don't know why that happened, but that felt really strange. But yeah, cross over. Chest, okay, under the arms and top of the head. There's no perfect way of doing it. Don't worry if you close your eyes and you find yourself finding a spot and you just go there and it feels so good. Stay there. Stay there. You can do the whole exercise on that one point. All right, it doesn't matter. What we want to do, most importantly, is we want to put the truth out. So very often we are so scared about the truth that we don't acknowledge it. And often the truth, that's the acknowledgement, is not as big as the bigger truth, the deeper truth, the wider truth. Okay, so that's what we're going to pay attention to. Oh, feeling calm. Thanks, Carla. However, there's an anxious niggle, and I'm so glad of everything you've just spoken about. It's just where I am today. Brilliant. So you're a 4. Okay. Is that a 4 on the happiness, or is that a 4 on the distress scale? Okay. So happiness scale is 0 is kind of neutral. 10 is the most happy you can be. I can see myself. The screen seems so big. And again, on the distress scale, 0 is neutral, 10 is the most distressed. Okay, so just kind of know where you are. All right, brilliant. Well done. Okay, excellent, excellent. Right, let's start. Okay, so the first one is always doing the acknowledgement and acknowledging about you. Okay, so even though I have a feeling, so in Carla, even though my feeling is as a 4, you can say, and I'm really pissed off about it. It should be a little higher. I thought I was doing well. I totally love and trust myself anyway. And even though I feel that I'm going up and down and I'm not sure what I'm going to do, I totally love and trust myself anyway. And even though the world is chaotic and I don't know whether I'll be safe or those I love will be so, I totally love and trust myself anyway. Okay. So these thoughts, top of the eyes, side of the eyes, these feelings, under the eyes, these feelings inside of me, under the nose, they can be so confusing. They are just there and they won't let me be. On the chin. Take a breath in and out. Remember to breathe. What is it that keeps calling me to feel not quite right, not enough? What is it that keeps me out of tranquility? That I choose to rebuff? And even though I experience this, I choose to love and trust myself anyway. I worry what is going to happen. I wonder what's going to happen to me or those I love. Top of the head, for I can see a bigger picture. And I can't see an end to it. Top of the thing. The world appears to be in chaos. And we seem to be coping. But I know that as we look, we have a long way to go. Because what happens when things become normal? What is that going to be like? How am I going to manage when everything is okay? And all the things that have been taken care of go away. I'm going to have to manage again and go back from things I'm becoming used to. And it will be a challenge, I can see. So I want to find a way that I can live in the sea of tranquility. And remember breathing in and breathing out, and just remembering to hold it just a little as you breathe out. Hold a little. Because it is in the holding. We want to expand that time of holding, because that is the time. That is when we can create. This is the creation period. We talked about that ultimate physical atom. This is the moment before the next moment. We allow something to drop in, to come in to that physical atom so that it can shift and change the dynamic. And it does require time, just a little. We can expand it. So when we breathe in, we hold a little. We stop time. And when we breathe out and we hold, we stop time. Now, yes, in an analog world, of course, time is moving on. But in our inner world, in this world of beingness where we are eternal creatures, this is timeless. It's outside time. So we go in time and out of time every breath that we take. So just focusing as you breathe in and out. and bring yourself into that sea of tranquility. Maybe what I'm seeing now is the letter C, and what allows C to be tranquil is to turn the C on its side the other way, to laterally, to invert it and create an O. We get a 0. And if you understand anything about binary numbers, 1 and 0, 1 and 0. So the 1 is part of the C and the 0 is the completion of the C. So there's your binary code. Yes. And what are we doing? We're doing a binary star later on. Yes. Okay. Good. And if you can, have that C begin to look and form like that ultimate physical atom that I showed you yesterday. So as you take some time to just give yourself a hug, you complete both of you. You give yourself a moment to stop so that you can see things clearly through. And as you begin to recognize there is a power in every breath that you take, that you can bring things into being with every moment that you make. Side of the eyes, under the eyes. So taking a moment to go inside, we're going to connect to where your heart resides, under your nose. We're going to get to the truth of the matter so that you can get rid of all the clutter and see things for how they are. And this reminds me, if you touch across in this way, I'm thinking about when we cross our hearts and we make a promise to our heart. We make a promise to ourselves. And I also see this as like our little angel wings. So as you cross your heart, as you begin to connect, as we go to that sea of tranquility, you can begin now to truly connect and truly begin to make yourself and others free. Okay, we're going to go to the binary star. Let's get that system working. All right. You know you have two parts of the heart. You have the thymus, the upper heart and the lower heart. Okay, it's just in directionality. That's all. Equally, both are important. Okay, but we do know that our heart is the part that is the first organ. Yeah, it's almost like out of the light, we come out of the darkness, comes into the light, and as we came into being, okay, as we started to form and become a being, we had to have a heartbeat. So we know the heart is the center of us. It is the start of us as an organ, as a being, okay? All right. So the heart and the thymus gland are like binary stars. And we know our thymus is the part of us that says we're me, not me. This is the part that dissolves boundaries, but it's also the part that can fight for our boundaries. Okay, so it can activate two systems. It can activate the system of loving to distraction, Yeah, can activate that and release and let in. And it can also fight. It can create an army. Yeah. So it can activate reserves. It can do all sorts of things. So I want you to just kind of pay attention to that binary star first. I want you to focus on your thymus gland right now, in your high heart. This is the part that is for absolute love. This is the part that gets activated when we love. So this is the part that has the highest intention for us. Okay, what does it look like? What does your binary star look like? What does your thymus or high heart look like? And just notice, I'm just kind of getting something, it's kind of rotating on itself, going. So that's what I'm seeing. And it's actually looking green. Did you know that the sun's color without our atmosphere would be green? Be aware of that. So you might see green, you might see gold, you might see yellow, it doesn't matter. Just see what your binary star looks like. Mine's going around like a pulsar. And I'm seeing energy coming from my lower heart around it and from it incorporating with my high heart, and then it's going down to my lower heart, forming like an infinity signal. Yeah. And I can see it sending out, like a great big sunbeam sending out light. And then focusing on your low heart. And this is the heart. And you might want to just let yourself slow it down and just gently tap on it. Gently. Yeah, you don't want to disrupt any heartbeat. Okay, but you want to create a rhythm that allows your heart to rhythm out into the body. Every organ in our body has a rhythm, by the way. It oscillates, it vibrates, and interestingly, it gets its sequence from the heart. So allow the heart to go and rhythm talk to every organ in your body. Feel it going. Let it go straight to the lungs. Let it go to your stomach and your liver and the pancreas and all your abdominal organs, and down to your kidneys and bladder and all of those areas, and then up to your head. Let it give sequencing to all of those so that they balance in their own way. And you might start to feel a vibration going throughout the whole of your body, because as we tap very gently on our hearts, we create a resonance. And just get your own rhythm, what feels right for you. All right, good. You might find it's kind of lulling you. It may even take you back to that kind of feeling when you were in utero, when you were in your mother's womb, when everything was easy. You just had to float around in there. You touched a beautiful, soft, soothed womb. The water was constantly warm. All you had to do was make sure that you kicked around so that you could develop your limbs and your fingers. You developed a sense of hearing and taste because you were tasting and swallowing. Your nerves needed you to kick and do those things so that your fingers and hands could form properly. And this was the place of just absolute beingness, absolute safety. You didn't have to do anything except receive. It's all you had to do. So just let yourself give to yourself and just receive. Just receive as you give to yourself. Remember, in the heart, the first vessels that go to the heart, that's out, come outside the heart, go back to the heart, and then everything else. And when you feel ready, allow yourself to find that feeling, that worrying feeling, and just gently bring it into the fold. Just kind of go around it. Notice it. See what color it is. You know, sometimes the boundary, the border is there because it's so scared, it's so worried, it's built that border for a very good reason, because it's scared that all the goodness inside it will go. What it doesn't know is that it can be so much bigger, and it's so much nicer with someone rather than without someone. So just go and give it this little lull. Let it feel what it's like to be slowly, you know, when you hold a baby, if you just gently pat it, what happens is it slowly just kinds of gets the sense and it relaxes. So talk to that part. Allow that part to feel that relaxation. And then ask it, what is it feeling? And just respond, yeah, I can see that. What do you want? If it says I'm frightened, you say, of course you'd be frightened. It's uncertain. It's normal. These things happen. Yeah. Yeah. Just acknowledge it. Just acknowledge whatever is there. The greatest gift we can give to another human being is to acknowledge them. To acknowledge means we say, I see you. I see you. So just breathe and gently let it slowly. If you think about a boat that drifts towards where the wave takes it, let it drift into your heart. And let it get really lovely and cocooned there. You might find that its boundary, its border just starts to disappear. Or it doesn't. It doesn't matter. We just want to acknowledge it. But while it's inside you, while it's with you, while you acknowledge it, it means that you have energy now to be able to look after the rest of you and clear all the things that don't belong to you. So it may be that you have to go around with your immune system and just check out everything. Now you can choose. You can choose today whether you want to have a certain force, which is a loving force. You might have two armies. You might have an army of love and an army of protection. And you might see how they could go together and work their magic together, or they can work separately. It doesn't matter. And I've noticed I've automatically started to go a little faster. So just notice what's happening to you, what's going as you follow whatever's going on. And I just like to enjoy having the army moving around. You see, the thing is that compassion and also order, compassion and order or restriction need to go together. When we want to give somebody some feedback, we don't give them we don't give them the cruel part first. We give them the soft part first, and then we tell them in the best way that we can the thing that we don't like, and then we give them another part that acknowledges their beauty, their wisdom. And it may be that that's what you have to do. So just kind of acknowledge what it is that you're going to do for your body as you go around. And what I would like you to do is let this energy go throughout your body so that you feel your body heating up. Heating up. I'm actually getting very, very hot here. And there's no sun yet. So it's getting hot, hot, hot for me. So just notice, is your body getting hotter? And if it is, raise. This is the body's natural way of killing viruses. So let your body get heat if that's the case. If you've got a cold, just let it get warmer. Let it do what it needs to do in order to get rid of whatever needs to be out of your body and send it back to its place of its highest intention. Nothing is bad. Everything wants to live, even a virus. So let's move the virus in a different way. Moving it forward, moving it out, moving it beyond so that it can go back to its highest intention. It wants to live, yes, but it can't live this way. It can't live in you in this way. If it's going to live, it's going to have to do something else. It's going to have to dissolve, and it's going to have to let go of its negative effect, and it's going to have to work for you if that's the case. That's the negotiation. All right. And I want you to expand this outside your body. Okay, clear your aura all around. So probably about up to 2 feet outside your body is your aura. Some people have bigger ones. And then what I want you to do is I want you to expand it. Make sure you can see your boundary. And then I want you to focus in your heart, and we're going to do the supernova now. Okay, I want you to really get all that resourcing. I want you to think of people you love, people you care about. I want you to think about your animals. I want you to think of anybody, anything that you love, even if it's just loving your roses. It doesn't matter. Just let yourself get that feeling, that real feeling of love. It may just be, and just get that sense of gratitude for having them in your life, for them being there. Feel it. Let that energy get really strong. Love them. Give appreciation. And then I want you to send that in supernova bursts. Just imagine going, um, um, let it go, let it go, let it hum into the universe, let it go above and below, out in front of you and behind you, to the left and to the right. Think of those people as you send the energy all the way, sending the energy. And as it goes supernova, it does a great big 360 spherical through the earth, through the earth, through the earth, beyond the earth. Energize the whole of the stratosphere, beyond, beyond. And as you look, you see everybody else. And guess what? They're all thinking about you too. They're thinking about everyone. And watch them and their light get exploded, expanding. And then allow yourself to feel it coming back to you. Let it come through your solar plexus just below your heart. Let it come in and let it come up into your high heart and let it go back out. So you create the cycle of life, the cycle of energy. Let the vortex move, move, move it, move it, move it. Make it stronger, make it stronger. Excellent. And you might want to make a sound. You could do the eternal sacred sounds, which are really things like A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. If you've got a higher scale voice, go for it. And just enjoy. Okay. All right, now just slow it down. Set the frequency. And just give yourself a really nice hug. You might want to go backwards and forwards, sideways. Do a cycle, do a cycle. Oh. The whirling dervishes knew something. There is something. And I don't know whether you know, if you notice, when you think about people that are really sad or worried, they rock. Why do they rock? They're trying to get to this rhythm. They're trying to connect back to this rhythm, the rhythm of the universe, the rhythm, the center of you. Oh my God, I've got such energy down in my pelvis. Whoa, okay, rightio. All right. So just put your hands on your heart, or you can put them over your heart, doesn't matter. And just let yourself check out where you are right now. Good. Excellent. Well done. Well done. Okay. Good. All right, let me just close all these. And let me see what else is coming through. Right, how's things? Okay, how are you feeling? What's been happening? Did you manage to do that? What came up for you? Right? What's your level now? Have you increased your happiness scale? Were you able to do that? Just being aware of that? Where are you? Let me know in the chat. I'll wait a few moments. Oh my goodness, hang on a second before I do that. Let me do another aura picture. That was the one. That was this morning. Oops. Okay. I will put it on. There's a bit of purple, a bit of green. Yeah, a little bit of green. So let's see what it's going to do as it balances. That's interesting. So it's got some blues, purples. It's got more stripes coming in. So I'm not quite sure what that would mean yet. I'm going to have to think about that and see what that could be meaning, because I'm thinking about what happened in the meditation, what we were focusing on, and how that might reflect what's going on for us as a group, and what might be going on in the world that may also be requiring certain things that we're not paying attention to. Maybe we can focus on that. Okay, right. I don't know if you're still there. Have a good day. Let me know, Carla, what's happening. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on, Marcel. And let me know, how did it go? What went on for you? Did you manage to raise the energy level? How are you feeling in your body? Yeah, and anything that comes up for you during the day, put it in the chat so that we can see, because awareness is everything. The moment we have awareness, we can shift and change. I'm a 6 on the calmness scale, 0 on the anxiety, lots of energy. Brilliant. Well done, Carla. Fantastic. Fantastic. Good. Okay, Marcel, that's great, because the heat is really an indication that we've activated the whole of the chakra area, yeah, and particularly our solar plexus. And our solar plexus is the source. It's kind of, in the sense, in the Kabbalistic thing, it's Tippereth, which means the kingdom. So not the kingdom, but it's part of the highest potentiality we can be in our bodies, kind of like the child, where we have this standing out. We're in our rightful space. So that's good. That's really good. Well done, you. Well done, you. Also my face is boiling. Yeah, isn't it crazy? I had a hot body. My body just started to get really hot. So that's really about also clearing. All right, so we're clearing. And if there's been anything going on, then we're raising the energy. So we're kind of shifting that. And that may explain why we've got a slightly different reading. Maybe we've moved some of the energetic level and we were in a space that wasn't as quite energetic as we should have been. Which is good. Which is good, because any change is good. All right. So take care. Speak to you tomorrow. Look after yourself. Thank you very much for coming on. And we'll catch up soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Feel aligned. I just saw your thing, Carla. I feel aligned and together, if that makes sense. Perfectly. It makes sense perfectly. Thank you for doing that, because yes, when we do the A, E, I, O, U, and we move around, we're actually resonating for each of the levels of the chakras. All right, so the A often goes all the way down and IOU goes up. All right, so we kind of are creating this double helix move through the body. All right, okay, so take care. I am going off now. I just saw a comment, that's why I came back in. Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure, Carla. Take care. Bye-bye.